From the Huntington Bank Studio, this is Colts 360.
Did you hear? We going to the playoffs.
Playoffs, baby! Hey guys, know we came to do what we had to do. We got to win against a great divisional opponent. Let's play. Now to go to the playoffs, baby.
I think we're going to the playoffs. Hey, it's the last regular season game, but we're beginning again. New Jeppy!
1-0. Colts going to the playoffs. Yes, sir.
Hey, and we hit it again.
Playoffs? Playoffs?
It's about that time to wake up. They done let us in the party. And we about to dance so hard.
Hey, we playoff bound, and we coming. Defense is ready, offense ready, special teams ready. We coming in like hot, on fire.
What he said, I ain't running 250 today. Hey, get the barbecue and sweet tea going, guys. We go to the playoffs.
The Colts are playoff bound for the second time in 3 seasons after going 11-5 in the regular season, the first 11-win season for the franchise since 2014. I'm Lara Overton, and this is Colts 360. That victory over Jacksonville highlighted by a record-smashing performance from rookie Jonathan Taylor. And Colts Productions takes you straight into the trenches for a recap of Week 17.
It all comes down to this.
Week 17, you control your own destiny. Win, get in. Perfect opportunity. Pressure does 2 things. Bust pipes or make diamonds. We're about to see what the coach about today, baby.
These are the games you work hard for right here, man. All that off-season grind, getting tired running sprints. These games right here.
Everybody in this circle know what's at stake. Y'all know what we got to do today, man. Ain't nothing got to be said, man. Let's go get this done. Bam on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bam.
Don't blink now. You might miss the show.
Let's go, man.
Win on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Win.
Hands off to running back. Jonathan Taylor starts right, cuts left. He's at the 45, he's at the 50, in the clear. He's at the 30, he's at the 20, giving chase to the Jaguars, and they run him down inside the 15-yard line. That's the best run all season for Jonathan. Gain of 56. Shotgun snap, looks right, throws at the goal line, and it's T.Y. Hilton, and he falls forward across the goal line. T.Y. Hilton, and it's the Colts drawing first blood early in it. 35-40, breaks off a tackle, 45-yard line, gain of 20 for Jonathan Taylor, and there it is. There's the record for Jonathan, and he's over 1,000 rushing yards for the season. Glennon out of the gun, looks right, feels heat, throws the ball away. It's a fumble picked up by the Colts. They're running the other way with it down the near sideline, T.J. Carey. They're going to say that's a fumble recovery by the Colts, a return by T.J. Carey.
Let's go.
They'll give off to Taylor, jumps over the pile, into the end zone, yes sir! Touchdown, I-N-D-Y, Jonathan Taylor. Glennon backs to throw, feeling pressure, and he's going to be brought down and twisted down, and it's going to go to DeForest Buckner. They're going to sweep it left side of Jonathan Taylor, gaping hole, 40, 45, 50, down the far sideline, inside Jacksonville territory. Glennon throws right side of the back of the end zone to Laviska Shenault. His second touchdown catch today, and the Jaguars have climbed back in it. Rivers backs to throw. Gonna heave it way downfield, and it is picked off around the 2-yard line. And it's a huge takeaway for the Jags.
That's not stress. It's gonna make something shake.
Glennon feeling heat in the pocket and brought down. And this time it's Justin Houston. Backs the pass. He's got time. And now the time runs out. The Colts bring him down. And that's Kamoko Toure. His first sack in 2020. Welcome back, Kamoko.
Work. Let's go get us one, JT.
Rivers, ball in the near hash, hands off to Jonathan Taylor. Huge hole. He's going to go. 10-5. Touchdown. Jonathan Taylor runs it into Pater from 45 yards out. Touchdown. I-N-D-Y. Jonathan Taylor have a day, over 200 rushing yards.
What a run. What a run, what a shake in the hole, and then he showed us that 4.39 speed. Wow.
Wow! Jonathan Taylor has cemented himself in the record books most rushing yards in a game ever by a Colt.
Hey, congrats, yo.
Rivers takes a knee, and there it is. The Colts have won in Week 17, and they're headed back to the playoffs.
Woo! Playoffs? We work hard for games like this. Glad to see it manifest. Let's go. Playoffs. Colts 1-0. Did you see it? Did you blink? You saw the game? There you go. We going to the playoffs.
I wouldn't say there's one team that we face that's like completely the blueprint's the same. Some things in the pass game, they're like certain teams. In the run game, they're like other teams. So, I'm really confident that, our coaches will, we'll put together a great game plan. I'm confident our players will be excited to execute that plan. I'm sure like most weeks, that plan will start with stopping the run.
Still ahead on Colts 360, head coach Frank Reich prepares to lead his team into familiar territory in Buffalo as the Colts continue the climb. That's next.
Probably if you ask a lot of sports teams why they exist, their answer is to win games. And that makes a lot of sense. We get that and we want to win games, but we believe something a little different around here.
Push yourself on the last one. This is how you're going to get in shape.
If you become the best version of yourself, then this team becomes the best version of itself.
It's always about us, never about them, dog. We on a mission, we got a point of proof.
Everybody wants the prize, but it's really grinding out on the process to get you the prize.
We're going to earn our respect right here.
They gonna respect us today, boys.
They don't believe in us.
As a result, we're going to win a lot of games. You want to talk about how you win games and lose games? It's the ability to focus in the moment.
We built for this. Let's just finish one off.
We're not thinking about what's down the road. We're thinking about executing this next play right now.
One way or another, we're going to get it done.
One play at a time, one first down at a time, one touchdown at a time, and let's see what happens.
Let's go! Let's go! No! It's through!
Just the knack to make the big play when needed.
Yeah! Yes, defense!
We have the talent in this room to win it all.
Back now on Colts 360 and joined by head coach Frank Reich for our weekly conversation. Coach, you wrap up the regular season at 11-5, the most regular season wins for the franchise since 2014. You secure a second trip to the playoffs in 3 seasons. In talking with the guys, though, after the game, they were very much celebratory, but not satisfied. That was the sense that I got in talking to Kenny Moore and the competitor that he is and how much he represents that attitude within your locker room of having still so much more to prove and accomplish this season. How hungry is your team going into Buffalo this weekend?
I think we're a very hungry team. And like you said, Lara, yeah, we all were. There's a joy and a satisfaction in getting in, winning the game and knowing that you're in the tournament. But from the beginning of the year, our goals were high, and that's to win a world championship. But that all has to start from number one, getting into the postseason. And, we had an 11-5 regular season. That's a great regular season and earned the right to be in it. And so you're looking at a real confident team right now.
Certainly confident in your run game. We do not have enough time probably in this entire show to rattle off all of the different milestones that Jonathan Taylor eclipsed in week 17. Among those, a single game franchise record for rushing yards, over 1,000 yards for the season. Second most rushing yards by a rookie in NFL history. He's right up there in the record books for the Colts organization, along names like Edgerrin James and Joseph Adai. How would you describe Jonathan Taylor's emergence and growth this season? Then also how you need him him to continue that consistency in his production this weekend?
Yeah, well, I'll start with the end of what you just said there. We want and need that to continue. He's been lights out. A real credit to Jonathan, to the offense, to the whole offensive unit, coaches and players done a nice job. But Jonathan is just he's a unique player and he's a unique person. You know, you spend 5 minutes with him and you know that. So happy for him. He works hard at it. He works really hard at it, and he's really an unselfish guy. And it's just it's great to see when good things happen to people like that. But I think the key, Larry, has just been his hard work. And his patience and boy, he really has emerged here in the second half of the season at just the right time.
Philip Rivers, certainly familiar with playing on the road in the opening rounds of playoffs. He's won first-round games in the postseason in Cincinnati in 2013, Baltimore just back in 2018. Of the many reasons that you brought Philip Rivers in, how much is this weekend just an example of exactly what he was brought in to do?
There's no doubt. I mean, you know, Philip has all those years of experience. You know, these kind of games that we'll play, you know, this Saturday are the kind of games that he's here for, Lara, as you mentioned. You certainly got to play great during the regular season to help get us here. But, you know, now as the quarterback, you know, there's just plays in this game where you got to make. But here's the thing, and Philip knows this, and I would, you know, the mantra is, as great as a player as he is, he does not have to win it, you know, by himself. He just has to play good football and then make those handful of plays that we need in the clutch.
The Bills ranked second in the league in total offense behind the Chiefs. Josh Allen with a wealth of weapons, including Stephon Diggs, who was a major acquisition for them this season. A very productive run game led by Devin Singletary. Which opponents that this defense matched up with, your defense matched up with in the regular season, can you draw upon the experience maybe that you had some success with, or some of those that can help you in preparation for this type of offense that they run?
Well, it's interesting. That's an interesting question. You know, as looking at the tape and thinking through the opponents and the offenses that we faced and how they match up against the Bills, it's kind of a mix and match. I wouldn't say there's one team that we faced that's like completely like blueprints the same. Some things in the pass game, they're like certain teams. In the run game, they're like other teams. So, you know, I'm really confident that, you know, our coaches will, we'll put together a great game plan that I'm confident our players will be excited to execute that plan. I'm sure, like most weeks, you know, that plan will start with stopping the run, and then mixing it up in the pass game and being able to apply pressure, you know, on Josh Allen through a variety of ways.
Certainly going to be a great atmosphere in Buffalo as the Bills host their first playoff game in 25 years, estimated to be about 6,700 fans there in attendance. Coach, certainly a place that you're familiar in playing with, so I know you'll have some advice for your team in terms of the atmosphere that Buffalo brings and what that challenge is that they present on Saturday afternoon. Appreciate the time, Coach.
Yeah, thank you, Lara.
In my mind, not only my approach, but the entire team's approach is we're going to keep our world really, really small going into this week in order to not make this game bigger than what it is.
Up next on Colts 360, the rookie who ran all over the record books prepares for his first postseason performance. How Jonathan Taylor looks to lead this run game against the Bills. That's still ahead.
Rivers, ball in the near hash, hands off to Jonathan Taylor. Huge hole! He's at the 30! He's gonna go! 10, 5, touchdown! Jonathan Taylor!
Well, it's the performance we cannot see enough of, as we just saw a few of the highlights right there. Jonathan Taylor joins us right now before we go into Wild Card Weekend. Jonathan, when you look at that performance in Week 17, there was a moment in the fourth quarter where they showed you up on the video board. It was pretty hilarious because Rathman was next to you, waving at all 10,000 fans who were giving you the standing ovation as you went for over 250 yards rushing, 1,000 yards for the season. Then, of course, the whole offensive line comes over and congratulates you as well. How do you describe that moment and what it was like to kind of let that all sink in?
I mean, it was special, especially just coming down to the last game of the regular season, especially one of our last games. It was basically winning you're in. So, you know, last game of the season to secure a playoff spot, putting me over that threshold of 1,000 yards and then having that single game franchise rushing record. I mean, it was all of that happened in one game. So it was kind of a lot to take in, but I'm just happy that it was during that last game that allowed us to lock in that wild card spot. So, I mean, it would have been bittersweet if, all of that would have happened and we wouldn't have came out with the win and we would have been sent. I wouldn't have been talking to you now, probably. I've been at home. So I just really grateful that I had, my teammates around me, my parents were able to be in the building for that moment. So it was really, really special.
I got to see a lot of your family. They typically sit right around the same area. So I saw them. How special was it to have them there on hand? I know your dad's made the trip a few times, but in particular for that type of a day, for them to be there to witness.
That is, especially with everything going on now. I mean, you're not able to come to every single game. So for that just to be the one game, that they happen to be able to make it to this year and to have all of that happen in one game, I mean, it was special for me, so I know it was special for them. I mean, I know my dad was ecstatic. He was so proud. So it was a really special moment because they didn't get to come to a lot of games this year because of their circumstances, and I'm glad that was one of them they were able to.
Will anyone be able to make the trip to Buffalo? I know they're allowing 6,700 fans, the first time that the Bills are going to allow fans in the stands all season long.
Yeah, they're going to try to make it out, and it's really, especially now, you have to get tested 2 days before, I guess it's because it's a playoff game. You got to get tested 2 days before, bring those results back. So it's going to be a bit of a drive, back and forth for them, but it's a wild card game. So they're definitely up for it, they said.
No doubt the Taylor fam will be in full force, whether it's there at the stadium or watching from afar. And of the many congratulations that you received this week, the messages, there was one from Derrick Henry on Twitter. You were both nominated for that FedEx Ground Player of the Week. And he tweeted, man, this week goes to the young bull, JT23. He gets my vote, basically conceding the award to you. How much did that mean to you to get that from the league's leading rusher and a guy who you play against within the division?
I mean, maybe it's because he has a bunch of them already, but it's really humbling just to see a guy like that who's really, at the top of the league as far as the running back position, and to have him, give me props and give me words of encouragement. It was really special. And that's what you work for the respect of not only your teammates and coaches, but you work for the respect of the people that you play against. I mean, that's why you play the game. You play the game to earn respect. And it was a really, really big moment for me just because, at the running back position, you want to be the best running back you can be. And right now, Derrick Henry is one of those guys. So that's something that I'm striving to be.
You're used to carrying a heavy workload. You did it collegiately at Wisconsin. Recovery is always huge, incredibly significant after the game. Massage, cold tub, refueling. What do you eat after going for over 250 yards rushing? Because I can't even fathom how many calories you probably burned in Sunday's game.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. You always spend the entire week loading up on carbs to use as energy, and then for 60 minutes, you use up all of those carbs that you built up throughout the week. So it's only right that at the end of the game, you go and you refuel and repack those carbs again. So one of my favorite meals, I definitely love to eat pasta, whether it's spaghetti or whether it's Alfredo. I love to load up on pasta after a game just to try to replenish those carbs as much as possible for the beginning of next week.
In addition to your breakaway speed, you've become so tough to take down. I know on Sunday there were multiple occasions, I think, where it was maybe 3 guys who had to bring you to the turf. How have you developed that? Is that just pure will, or is that something you've really emphasized in terms of gaining those yards after contact?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a mindset. It's a mindset that was really instilled in me coming up, especially in Salem, New Jersey. We play tough, hard-nosed football, from Little League all the way up to high school. And that translated over to the University of Wisconsin, and I was able to develop that even more there. So just being able to keep that snowball effect going, I'm trying to translate that into the league. I mean, of course, you'll have to, have your body physically prepared, but you also have to have your mind mentally prepared in order to have that kind of power running game, because, those guys on the other side of the ball, I mean, they're elite guys too, and they're ready to come down and hit as well. So it's really as much mental as it is physical.
Well, speaking of carrying momentum, looking to carry that momentum forth into the playoffs, and you've been in postseason situations before, high school championships, Big Ten championships, bowl games that you played in at Wisconsin. How do you strike that balance between the excitement of getting there and then also keeping the composure of maintaining that focus of keeping things small, playing that same 60-minute game of football?
Yeah, I think Coach Reich, I mean, he hit it best as we were hitting the last few weeks of the season when we started, really thinking that every game was essentially a playoff game for us. And one of the biggest things he said was the best way to handle a big game is to keep your world small. And I really, really like that approach. I mean, that just stuck with me ever since he said that, because guys may tend to say, oh, I need to, score 2 touchdowns or have a big breakaway run, when really all you got to do is, what is my read on this play? Where's my fit? What do I need to do? And if you keep doing that play after play after play, then everything will take care of itself. So in my mind, not only my approach, but the entire team's approach is we're going to keep our world really, really small going into this week in order to not make this game bigger than what it is.
We got a big one coming up on Wild Card Weekend. Jonathan, appreciate your taking the time. Thank you so much for being here this week on Colts 360 with us.
Thank you so much, Laura. Always a pleasure. Always.